Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Thursday, July 7th. Are seeing some showers and some thunderstorms further north this morning. Those should be tracking further northeast with a little bit of an expansion towards this afternoon for some afternoon showers and thunderstorms with some continued very warm temperatures, and we'll be breaking that down for you this morning. Key points we're going to focus on today. Do some morning showers and afternoon thunderstorms expected today. Main concerns are going to be the central mountains and eastern highlands. Do have a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms in those areas with wind gusts greater than 50 miles an hour, hail, and brief moderate rain possible with some of those stronger storms. This is going to be the most widespread thunderstorm coverage of the week, so those will be tracking further north for Friday and Saturday, so today looks like the best chance for many locations. Warm and dry conditions continue with some potential heat risk concerns today and through the remainder of the week into next week. Afternoon highs in the 80s to upper 90s will increase fire danger below 6,000 feet with very dry conditions. Brief cool down Sunday might drop off things by about 2 to 6 degrees, so staying fairly warm and above normal for this time of year with continued breezy winds through the weekend. Heat dome does arrive for next week with continued heat risk concerns. High pressure ridge, so what that means for us is abundantly dry and very warm conditions for the start of next week through midweek. Afternoon highs will be about 10 to 15 degrees above normal in the 90s to low 100s as you get further south towards Pocatello west, with some potential monsoonal moisture arriving for midweek. Satellite this morning does show some of those increasing cloud cover, and with those pop-up showers that we're going to be seeing this morning, those will be tracking northeast and kind of further east progression throughout the day, with some thunderstorms developing in the central mountains and along the Montana border towards this afternoon. Weather outlook today is going to be mainly just breezy conditions with some showers and storm concerns. Where there are minor impacts for today, that's going to be where the marginal risk from the Storm Prediction Center is, where those stronger storms will be developing. And that risk continues into Friday further north, but more concern is going to be on Friday. It's going to be the warmest day of the week, so temperatures near 100 degrees for much of the lower Snake Plain, so something to keep in mind for that. Slightly cooler for the weekend, still staying above normal as we head into Saturday and Sunday with some continued breezy wind conditions, but for Monday, those winds do die down as we see temperatures continue to soar coming into next week. Taking a look at yesterday, so this is as far as the lightning and max wind gusts we observed yesterday. So pretty typical eastern Idaho afternoon, wind gusts up to about 40 miles an hour across the Snake Plain. Some of those locally higher spots up towards Salmon gusting to 47, 42 further north with some of those thunderstorms. And you can see a pretty decent coverage of lightning, especially north of Custer County into Lemhi County. Severe weather outlook today, that marginal risk does expand further south. So as far south as the Magic Valley, not as sure if we're going to see a ton of storms further south here today, with the best potential again being contained to that higher terrain with some storms kind of bleeding out onto the Snake Plain further east as you get up towards the Montana border as well. For tomorrow, that threat shifts even further north, so it's going to be leaving the Wood River Valley and just being mainly confined to northern from Custer County into Lemhi County. Something to keep in mind if you're going to be headed up there over the next few days, some continued very stormy conditions, especially as you head up into Montana. Day 3, continuing that just weak thunderstorm chances for your Saturday afternoon and evening. Mainly going to be up along the Montana border, northern Custer County, but as those showers do shift further northeast, so does the threat for some severe thunderstorms. So just some marginal risk of thunderstorms is well confined north for your Saturday. So just looking at slight chance for your Saturday afternoon with things all out of here by Sunday. High temperatures today will be in the 80s to mid-90s as you head further south. So Pocatello today should be just where we were yesterday, about 96 degrees. As you head further north, should be about the 80s. Critical fire weather conditions are in effect for many locations across southeast Idaho, with looking at relative humidities less than 15% and breezy winds in excess of about 25 to 30 miles an hour. So something to keep in mind, especially headed outdoors. With those wind gusts, again, practicing proper fire safety this summer will help us be able to protect our natural resources and those around you. So keeping those wind gusts, this afternoon will increase the risk of fire spread, especially in areas where those relative humidities are less than 15%. And wind gusts today should be about 30 to 35 miles an hour, so another slightly breezy afternoon, but nothing too atypical for you. Temperatures on Friday, so this is going to be the warmest day of the week. Widespread highs are going to be in the upper 80s to upper 90s, so approaching 100 degrees as you get further down towards western Idaho. But again, it's going to be a very dry afternoon for Friday, so we're looking at widespread minimum relative humidities, less than 15% for much of the Snake Plain, Magic Valley, and southern lower elevation zones, continuing to exacerbate that fire danger risk. Wind gusts on Friday looking even slightly breezier than what we see today. So we'll see those wind gusts increase to about 30 to 40 miles an hour, especially in the mountains. So seeing those threat continue for some more breezy winds continuing through the remainder of this week. Temperatures on Saturday, so still staying above normal, but we will be dropping off by a few degrees as an upper level trough continues to flatten the northern edge of this high pressure ridge. So we'll see temperatures fall just a few degrees into the 80s to mid 90s with continued very dry conditions. Afternoon winds on Saturday do continue as far as those stronger gusts are going to be contained to the Snake Plain and up to the central mountains, but still certainly a breezy afternoon across southeast Idaho. High temperatures on Sunday will be falling again, so this is going to be the coldest day of the week. For the remainder of this week, we'll be in the 70s to low 90s for your Sunday afternoon with continued very warm conditions. But we do see a slight improvement to humidities as those temperatures do fall down, but still seeing a rapid warm up as we get into the early part of next week. And wind gusts on Sunday, keeping with that breezy trend as those systems are coming through, drying us out for Sunday. We'll see some final breezy winds before that kicks out of here for Monday. So again, breezy winds about on Sunday up to around 35 miles an hour. High temperatures on Monday, so this is going to be the start of the warming trend into early next week. So we'll have high temperatures starting off next week in the 80s to mid-90s with, again, very dry conditions. And Tuesday, much of the same. Seeing locations again, many locations are now in the 90s to mid to upper 90s, approaching 100 degrees again in the Magic Valley up through the lower Snake Plain. So potential for 100 does begin on Tuesday. So we're going to be seeing those very warm temperatures under a heat dome here in southeast Idaho, which is going to be increasing the heat risk, especially for sensitive groups. Continued very low relative humidities will continue to increase fire danger throughout the period, continuing to dry out all the fuels that are going to be left, especially across our southern lower elevations. Certainly something to keep in mind for fire danger. And by Wednesday, now we have some hundreds in the forecast. So we're going to be in the mid to upper 90s across the Snake Plain with some hundreds through Pocatello west. So as far as very warm conditions, places like the Teton Valley could see 90 for the first time this year, 90 in Driggs, Stanley, and Chalice. So it's going to be a very warm Wednesday next week. These temperatures should slightly change over the next few days by a degree or two, but still looking at an above normal period of temperatures for next week with very dry conditions continuing. And let's kind of look at the heat risk. So as far as this is an experimental thing that's kind of what the Weather Service has been working on, as far as being able to exasperate what exact heat risk comes given climatology. So we're, it's middle of July here in southeast Idaho, but we are going to be in a moderate to, red risk. So it's going to be as far as, increasing that risk of a high risk almost across some of those lower elevation zones where temperatures could exceed 100 degrees. And this link here I'll have right in the description down there if you want to check it out. But a great overview of what is heat risk and a very easy way to be able to update and see those risks over the coming days with the much warmer temperatures moving into our area. 6 to 10 day outlook. So if you're a fan of warm weather, you can see a bullseye of 80 to 90% chance of favored above normal temperatures here in southeast Idaho. Pretty much the entire forecast area, is going to be well above normal for July 12th through 16th. So we're looking at the early part of next week. There's an 80 to 90% bullseye directly over our area. So that's going to continue that threat for very warm conditions for the early part of next week into midweek. 6 to 10 day outlook. So here we actually start to work with a little bit of a more monsoonal moisture component. So as that heat dome establishes itself across the southwest U.S., could start to see some showers spin up, especially through the desert southwest, central Rocky Mountains, and just starting to clip the lower part of our area. Not as sure as far as the exact precipitation amounts as we get towards midweek next week, but should see some precipitation chances arriving by around that Wednesday, Thursday timeframe of next week. 8 to 14, keeping again with that 60 to 70% chance of above normal conditions continuing all the way through July 20th. So we're keeping with those above normal temperatures. And as far as precipitation chances go, still keeping at least the chance for some monsoonal moisture pushing up through here. And we'll be kind of assessing that as we get closer to that date for some moisture impacts. And in summary, this morning, do some morning showers and some afternoon thunderstorms that will develop today. Some of those could be strong. We're mainly looking at some gusty winds, hail, and some brief moderate rain with some of those. And main areas for that's going to be the central mountains, eastern highlands, and maybe a little bit of spillover out into the Snake River Plain. Warm and dry conditions with some heat risk concerns continuing through next week. Afternoon highs will be in the 80s to upper 90s with increased fire danger below 6,000 feet due to some very dry conditions out there. Brief cool down Sunday, so it'll be about 2 to 6 degrees cooler for your Sunday, but continued breezy winds through the weekend, but you will see a break by Monday. Heat dome arrives for next week with some continued heat risk concerns. High pressure ridge is going to bring afternoon highs about 10 to 15 degrees above normal for this time of year into the 90s, some even low triple digits, and some potential monsoonal moisture arriving for next week. So be sure, especially over the next few days, be very warm temperatures. Again, slight cool down over the next couple of days into the weekend, but temperatures will continue to climb, especially for next week. So something to keep in mind. But that wraps up your weather briefing for today, Thursday, July 7th. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Stay safe out there.